I believe in what y'all do as a noble calling. I think a citizen-led legislature is absolutely the best way to create any policy for the citizens of the state of Florida. This special session is unique. Thank you to the governor and speaker and Senate president for seeing the wisdom to call this. And thank you to all of you. The state of Florida is an exceptional economic state right now. We've got 900 people a day moving to the state of Florida, bringing their income with them. It's about $23 billion annually coming to the state of Florida, in contrast with the state of California. They're losing $18 billion a year. Tackling the property casualty market will make us even more competitive. This special session is so important, and the body has to discuss the policies that will put policyholders first. In my 18 years, this is the most significant special session I've ever seen or ever been a part of. The reason why I think this piece of legislation does put policyholders first is, one, I think it fixes Florida's legal environment by fixing the one-way attorney's fees. You've heard this stat a million times. You've probably heard it multiple times this week alone, that Florida makes up 9% of the nation's insurance claims, yet it makes up over 79% of all the lawsuits. You cannot have a healthy, normal, functioning insurance market with that much litigation. Those legal costs are passed on to the consumer, and it makes it harder for insurers to remain in business in the state of Florida. Second, this bill puts policyholders first by forcing insurance companies to be more responsible to claims. I've been through enough storms, Sally, Ian, Michael, Irma, to know that when a policyholder's home is ravaged, time is everything. Right now, the insurers have 90 days to act on a claim. This bill changes it to 60 days. This bill also forces a physical inspection of the house within 30 days, and it requires that the adjuster report be sent to the policyholder within 7 days. Ultimately, these provisions work together, empower the policyholders, so that if the insurer is not taking the claim serious, then the Office of Insurance Regulation has more teeth to issue fines and hold insurers accountable. The third way this bill puts policyholders first is by fighting fraud. There's a lot of drivers of what we're seeing that are causing the premium increases. Litigation, inflation, storms, increased reinsurance rates, and fraud. As your CFO, fighting fraud is the main lever that I've got in order to fight the rate increases. I've got 125 sworn law enforcement officers in our agency. They investigate all types of insurance fraud. There's a lot of great provisions in these bills, but I want to focus where we see the fraud driving up our costs. Florida needs to empower the policyholders by eliminating the assignment of benefits process, also known as AOBs. Ideally, AOBs were supposed to let the policyholders hand off their claim to a contractor so they can get their cash quickly. Unfortunately, this tool generates more costs and enriches others, and it does not enrich the policyholder. These extra costs are passed down to us as higher premiums, and by removing the AOBs from the claims process, this would help policyholders. These AOBs are oftenly executed when the policyholders lack the resources. They're stressed, they're vulnerable. I saw how they were abused after Hurricanes Michael and Ian. People find themselves in tough times. The roof is gone, they're staying in water in their house. And then this friendly face shows up. Have a gas can, maybe some storm supplies, promising they'll provide the help to get these people back on their feet. Sure enough, the policyholder hands over their $300,000 to $400,000 or so claim policy limit to somebody they simply met on their front doorstep. The fact is when the policyholder signs over, their claim's away. They're no longer in the driver's seat. By eliminating AOBs, the legislature has an opportunity to cut out the middleman. Moreover, if the policyholder runs into any issues, they can call my office where we can mediate for free at no cost, or they can simply hire an attorney. Removing AOBs will remove a lot of fraud from the Florida insurance market, which has driven up a major of the costs that we've seen. For example, the Strems Law Firm used AOBs to defraud Citizens Insurance to the tune of $112 million. They filed over 5,000 AOB-related claims within a 7-year period and used this as the main tool for their alleged fraud. Reason why we had access to this information is because Barry Gilway was able to work with us to give us this data. We worked with Citizens Insurance in Barry Gilway's office for a sting operation to stop these bad claims in their tracks. If left unchecked, it would have cost the policyholders of Citizens an additional $16 million in increased premium costs. In Florida, AOBs are used to muddy the water by inserting multiple players and multiple layers of employees between the policyholder, the company that they assign the AOB to. And it makes it hard for prosecutors to go after these unscrupulous attorneys and bad contractors. If we get rid of AOB, frankly, there'll be a lot less people around the table, and it'll make it easier to prosecute these cases. I say this all the time. There's good lawyers, there's good contractors, there's good public adjusters, but there's bad ones. It's just simply the rule of numbers. It's time to cut bait and put an end to these abuses by banning the AOB from being in the property casualty market. Mr. Chairman, just from a personal story, I'd gotten a call from there was a roofer that I knew that was in the Hurricane Ian devastated area. And as he was talking, trying to help this policyholder, the house was already gutted, the roof was already under repair, and now the contractor, the policyholder had signed an AOB. So literally, here's somebody, that's why I get emotional, because here's somebody who the most important, most expensive, the biggest investment they'll make ever in their life is their home. And here this guy is standing in nothing more than a shell of a home, and he is left trapped at the mercy of somebody who has signed up as many people as they can, as fast as they can after the disaster. What you saw with Hurricane Ian is you saw the Good Samaritans, they come day 4, they come day 5. The locusts, the predators, they come hours after the storm. They're better pre-staged than our utility companies are. So that type of action, that type of behavior needs to be eliminated, and this is why I felt so important that I come and testify on behalf of your good bill. And I stand